Ladies and gentlemen, Mollusk here, finally bringing you another Warhammer Fantasy 8th Edition Battle Report. But before we start, I've just got to give an enormous shout out to Dark Sphere. They've got to be about the biggest wargaming and hobby shop in central London, if not beyond. They stock something like 50 different game systems, all at cheaper than retail price, and support them with this huge space for gaming. They're not paying me to say this or anything, but they hosted tonight's game, and I'm sure great inconvenience to themselves, for certain reasons we won't go into, and they've absolutely gained my awe and respect. Seriously, if you're a wargamer in London, this is your destination. If you're spending money in London and you're not in this shop, get your head out your arse, get on down to Lambeth North tube stop, walk for 3 minutes and through the doors of Dark Sphere, and I promise you, you're never going to want to leave. Thank you, Dark Sphere, you are awesome. And here we go, a game against one of my favourite opponents, Tigris of the Daemons. We're in Dark Sphere because Games Workshop won't let us play 8th edition anymore, which makes complete business sense. I can see why they were doing that. It would still irrationally feel a little bit like a betrayal, but actually it's forced me to open my, or broaden my wargaming horizons, allowing me to find Dark Sphere, and I can't thank GW enough. But on with the game. We were really pushed for time, and so we basically just deployed everything all at once, without really looking too hard about what each other were doing. So what have I got? I've got the Legion of Chaos Goat's Cheese list. I have a Gorgon. I have a Flying Doombull with the Mark of Tzeentch for a 3-up ward. I've got a Tuskgore Chariot, Razorgore. I've got a herd of Minotaurs, Mark of Nurgle double hand weapons, and they're being led by Throg, because they're not on speaking terms with the Tzeentchian Doombull. Throg is being proxied by an unpainted Minotaur, because I am a douchebag. I absolutely adore the Throg model, but he's fine cast, and about 40 quid, and after my Jabberslithe I swore never again. So I'm waiting for GW to bring out a decent troll model in their new Age of Sigmar range, or I might look at Warmer Hordes, the Trollbloods. Maybe there'll be a proxy or conversion job I can do from their range. Behind them is my General level 4 of Beasts with the Chalice in his Gore bunker. And next to them is my unit of 9 Chaos Trolls, led by the Gorbull BSB, and he's also in Mark of Nurgle. The Trolls were my new project before Age of Sigmar hit, and I haven't managed to finish them, what with all the chaos of holidays and new systems, etc. But I was dying to try them, and I couldn't wait, so I brought them to the field, and I hope Tigris can forgive me. Next to them is another Razorgore and another Tuskgore Chariot. So with the might of the Troll King added to the herd, the goatees are bristling with confidence. Despite the hasty deployment, Twiskin, the great bray-shaman, has managed to construct an elaborate plan. We're going to run across the table and punch the demons in the face until they stop moving. Over on Tigris' side we have some blue horrors, some screamers, the blue scribes, some more blue horrors I think, more blue horrors, a demon prince of Tzeentch, screamers, flamers, screamers, and a big chariot thing. Tzeentch all the way, baby. Beastmen get the first turn and we surge forwards. Chariots and Razorgores hang back a bit to cover the flanks, but Heartbleed the Doombull is having none of it, fails his frenzy check and flaps towards the Screamers, failing a charge. Eeyore the Gorgon rampages forwards and finds himself face to face with his nemesis, a pack of Screamers. That's not going to go well. In Magic, Twiskin successfully casts Wild Form on the Minotaurs and Curse of Armpit Hair on the Screamers. We go headlong into Demons turn 1 and the Screamers charge the Razorgores. Everything else hangs back. Oh, and the Gorgon gets his side nibbled. We go into Magic and I think the goats get off quite lightly. This chariot, I can't remember the name of the damn thing, gets flamed or bolted or something and taken down to its last wound, and acquires regen at the end of the turn. And then in shooting, the chariot takes a wound off my chariot. Then the flamers manage to wound a troll and give us a 3+ regen. Worth it! And that's just a picture of all that happening. In combat with this Razorgore, it's a bit of a whiff fest. And over here, Tigris can't roll a 6 to save his life, and the Gorgon actually wins combat by killing a Screamer. Get in there, my son! And in the centre, the Razorgore with the other Screamers also fight each other to a standstill, and the pig sticks. We move into Beastmen turn 2, and the bunker unit moves up to try to get away from the Screamer's line of sight. The Doombull gets hold of himself and sets him up in the flank of all the demons, and Throg herds the Minotaurs and the rest of the chaff towards the front, whilst Heartache the Gorbel marches the Trolls right up in the face of the Flamers. I didn't want to risk failing a charge, and so basically I've given him a shooting phase to make something of it before he's toast. And it looks like this chariot on the right flank has swung around to try to cover the rear of the bunker unit once the pigs inevitably fold. In the magic phase I get something like 11 dice, 4 dice Wisdom's Wild Form, and irresistibly cast it on the Minotaurs. This causes a dimensional cascade, which halves my unit, but thankfully Twiskin remains in this dimension. The fluky beggar. However, we lose all our other power dice. In combat, yep, that was going to happen, and the Screamers turn to face my bunker. Good stuff. The Screamers fail to even touch Eeyore again, and he wounds something. Come on, Gorgon. And after Crumble, it's looking even better. And I think this is showing that despite all the odds, Misery Pig seems to be sticking it out against the Screamers over on the right flank. But then we go into the Demon's turn. The Demon Prince charges the chariot, which flees. It redirects into the Razorgore, which tries to double flee, but gets caught. The Screamers charge the bunker, and the Horrors turn to face the tide of bovine death heading towards them. In the magic phase, I forget what the Rain of Chaos was, but it didn't do anything. And he casts Treason of Tzeentch on the chariot, so that's not coming back. All kinds of bolts and flames and abyssal gates get thrown around, but I think I managed to stop most of them. In shooting, the Flamers unleash a desperate salvo into the Trolls. They manage to do 1 wound and give the Trolls a 2+ regen save. So, combined with the 4+ ward save against flaming they get from the Doombull's Blackened Plate, this unit is effectively unkillable. And 2+ regen seemed excessive, but we couldn't find anything that said you couldn't do it. So hooray for me, I guess. The chariot gets flamed a little bit more. In combat, the Screamers make sausages and fly off the board. Over here it's not too bad. The Shaman takes a wound and we take a few more casualties. But the Goatees hold on, just barely, although they can't pass their check to reform. Over here it finally happened. Tigris rolled a 6 and the one hit that got through halves my Gorgon's wounds. Eeyore flubs in return and loses his frenzy and all his extra attacks. But he's stubborn 10 at least, so he sticks around. Over to the Beastmen, the Minotaurs get stuck in. Heartbleed reckons he can take one of the big blocks of demons by himself, so the others leave him to it. The Trolls charge the Flamers, and Standard Shoot can't do anything against monstrous infantry with Terminator armour. The fleeing chariot continues on its way towards the board edge, and in magic I managed to get Whistons off on the beleaguered Gore unit. And so we barrel on into combat. This is going to be good. Poof! No more Flamers. Heartbleed does not live up to his reputation, however, and I think they managed to draw this combat. He had something like 7 attacks hitting on 3s, and I managed to make 1 hit. Ugh, disgusts me. And if that wasn't bad enough, the Screamers finally eat Eeyore. We all knew it was coming, but it still doesn't dull the pain. But the good times return as we all but obliterate this unit of horrors, taking only a few scratches for our Trolls. We then go into this combat, and the long and the short of it is all the goats die horribly. We break and they catch us. So with that we move into the Demon's turn. Nothing can charge, so they just manoeuvre around a bit. Magic's not hugely impressive, but he does manage to take 3 wounds off the Doombull with a direct damage spell. In shooting, the Demon Chariot barbecues the Gore Chariot, down there in the right corner. And in combat, I think I fluff the Doombull's attacks again, and lose to the Demon's static combat res, but stick around. The Minotaurs and Throg pulp the remaining demons and are forced to overrun. I think as the majority of the unit are now frenzied, we go by those rules. Which takes us into the Beastmen turn. The Minotaurs have developed a bit of a taste for horror, and there's no stopping them now. The Trolls swift reform and begin the long slog back towards the centre. And no magic, just combat, just the way the Minotaurs like it, and yeah. The Minotaurs must be on something like 7 attacks apiece now. I should really reform them to start making the most of that. But over here, you're freaking kidding me! The Doombull whiffs his attacks again! He loses to static combat res and turns tail and runs. And it's only because Tigris is as bad a dice roller as I am that he's still alive. So back over to the Demons. And it's feeling pretty close at this point. We're not quite sure who's got the edge. The Demons have cleaned up all my chaff, but most of the Beastmen's real points are still on the board. And with the exception of the Doombull looking strong. Although we're too slow and out of position now to really catch nearly anything left in his army. The Horrors forget to charge and just move up behind the Doombull. Obviously a mistake, but it was a bit late when we realised it, and to be honest, I don't really think it would make too much difference. For magic, Tigris rolls Snake Eyes, which means he only gets about 7 or 8 dice to my 1. A Storm of Magic hits Heartbleed, but his armour saves him from every single hit. Mark of Tzeentch is absolutely brilliant. Back to the Beastmen, the Doom Bull rallies, thank goodness, and the rest of our army closes in on the only non-flying unit in the Demons list. And then it's back to the Demons again. The Demon Prince thinks the Doom Bull is looking suitably softened, and charges in for a titanic airborne duel to see who's the badder monster, whilst the Screamers dive bomb everything else that moves. The Screamers kill a Minotaur and do a couple of wounds, and these Screamers do about 1,000,000 hits and manage to bring down the wounded troll. He will be missed, but perhaps I can draw your eye a little bit to the left to where the Doom Bull is standing. The Prince of Demons battered away at his bovine foe, one blow slipping through the ensorcelled armour, sinking into the beast's thigh. In response, Heartbleed swatted the Demon Prince with a lazy backhand, sending the demigod flying away, crashing through mountains in a manner reminiscent of the old Dragon Ball Z cartoons. Okay, it's easier to get carried away with how boner-inspiring your characters are. But we were both gearing up for an epic duel, and then it was just over. I feel bad for Tigris, but Doom Bulls are such bad boys, you just can't help but love them. So, with that all said and done, I thought I heard someone order a shish kebab. Oh, you know that's gonna hurt. Shh, demons, shh. We'll be gentle. Ooh, cheek to cheek. So gentle. But the horrors aren't quite finished. They put all of their dying, splitting into pink horror attacks into the Doom Bull, who has to make 8 armour saves, and makes them all. Such a jammy bugger. But Tzeentch is a fickle master, and in the final turn, the demons swarm the Doom Bull and rip him into tiny, weeny little chunks. And there you have it, the end of the game. Absolutely brilliant fun. So good to play 8th again, and really hats off to my opponent. I told him I'd be bringing legions, and he brought the straight demon list anyway. You gotta respect that. I feel he did well to trash my chaff, but the giant blocks of monstrous infantry posed a real problem, I think. And this list really needs the end times magic phase, that really changes things for it, as it can just pump out so much magical damage. But yeah, loved the troll list. Think it seems pretty strong. A bit point and click for my tastes, but it's so easy to transport, and it's just such a joy to move these big models around and watch them tower over other people's puny little models and not have to muck around, moving around 100 gore. So I think this one might be a keeper. Hopefully that will motivate me to get it completed faster. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and take care.